Oh, hello. I thought I'd give you another one of the panoramic views heading back from Monchique with the weekly groceries, half for myself, half for the cats. It's hard to imagine that that's sort of Portimao down there, but sort of somewhere just out the distance. It's hard to believe that just across the Mediterranean sort of inlet there you've got North Africa. Can't get much more southern Europe or such glorious weather than this. So a bit of a double topic. First, on a personal level, this week's shopping for groceries has left me with about €5 to my name. Maybe at most I could scrape together about 8. But rather than donations, something I've not actually put in the description, though I have mentioned it before, distance Reiki healing. I have a proven track record in that, and also what I call DAPPER, which is depression, anxiety, panic attacks, paranoia, energetically resolved. So the invitation is there for any of you that are struggling, because it will help me, and but what you'll get back out of that, I feel that you'll get far more out of it. I'm just asking for a sort of minimal donation of $5, £5 sterling, or €5, whichever, or more if you feel, or if you are able to give more. But again, don't leave yourself short, and if you are struggling financially, don't think that you can't approach me, because I will still help you. So that's that bit out of the way. The second part of this video, I wanted to talk about time, and it was the missing piece, as it were, was in a conversation with Lana Alabonte, and it's the word recognise. Now there's talk of, particularly in religious circles, of a second coming. Now everything in this reality, everything that comes into this reality, into a solid material form, is subject to time. And it is like a timepiece in this realm. So if you think of a pocket watch or a clock, it is a series of cogs. So the clue is in the word recognize. You can play with time, which is something I put into daily practice, which is to remember the future. You see the outcome you wish for. So today it's, no matter what, I'm coming back, I'm holding that feeling that I've got the groceries I need for this week, and we won't worry about false evidence appearing real, which is fear, which is what am I going to do next week. As it is, I've not been able to buy any tobacco, so I just have to make that last. But it's just cross each challenge as we come to it, and don't focus on the worry, because that in itself is proof that pretty much anybody can manifest. But how often do we focus on the worry and the fear of the things we don't want, and what do we get? That we draw towards us from holding that energy. So it's doing the opposite. You create the vision of what you wish for. Of course, this needs to be done in a benevolent way, not in a self-serving way, as it were. But the way I was the thoughts were there about this video, about collapsing time. And I think I mentioned this on a previous video. So imagine, let's go back 10 years. So the 2014 version of yourself, if that version of yourself armed with the experiences and the knowledge that you had 10 years ago, was confronted with your present version with 10 more years experience, I would imagine that that 10-year older version would not really like and probably be triggered by the present version, but the present version would feel nothing but love and forgiveness for the version of yourself 10 years previous. So now if we turn that round, and the key word here is imagine. Imagine if you were confronted with the 2034 version of yourself and just reflect back on what you've been through in the last 10 years. Imagine what you're going to go through in the next 10 years. For me, it's like, will I be able to make it up this hill? I really do know why a push bike is called a push bike. When it comes to going uphill, the days of cycling up hills have gone. In places it's a little bit on the steep side, and it's not excuse me, not a tarmac surface, so it's and with the heat it's about probably around 30 degrees now, so I've stopped on the way back partly to make this video and just sort of stand in the shade for a little bit. So going back to the topic, putting that missing cog back in time, as it were, and taking control of time. Now imagine if you get good at this, and regardless of what the external facts are showing to you, that you can overwrite those, because the subconscious knows no difference between what is external and what you're creating internal. This is a message as much for myself as anything to get myself through this new financial challenge. But it's not one we've beat. It's not something new. It's something that seems to happen every now and again. I don't get too many regulars for the befriending service, which I take from that after listening to what somebody has said, that I've managed to give them a new perspective, and they've not needed to come back, because it's not about, oh, I'm trying to create a regular income and exploit people. Rather, it's, I wish you to find the empowerment in yourself. And I'd rather have a regular change of new people coming forward and then being able to uplift them and help any of you through any challenges that you may be facing, just from the power of words. And of course, there's the Reiki healing. I can vision the outcome that you're then messaging me or contact me and saying, thanks very much, my life has turned around. That is what the whole purpose, I feel, of my mission is here for, is to help humanity. But imagine if enough of us can do this, would we not create a series of, not the 100 monkey effect, but the 100 Mandela effect? Imagine what that would do if you're collapsing time and by remembering the future, adopting that technique. It's not the law of attraction, because the definition of that, although it can work, I'm not slating the law of attraction, but the law of attraction by definition, it's saying attracting, which implies that you have not got. So it's, in some ways, it's not that different from praying and just wishing. It is about taking active steps in whatever way you can. So that is really the purpose of this video. It's taking active steps, and it's using the resources you've got. Now, how many people hear that? Unbelievable. Normally, I don't see one single car up this road, but today it's been about 3. So it's a bit of a rush hour, and you can see that the dust that comes up. So anybody who comes out this way, don't wear white, because it will soon turn it into cappuccino or latte coloured. But anyway, going back on to topic, if enough of us can manipulate and compress or stretch time, by remembering the future, creating the future that you wish to see, and then holding true to that, the time scale of things arriving is going to depend firstly on how much feeling, how much heart and soul you put into it, how much you can convince yourself that it already is. And then you'll find it will happen very quickly. It comes out of nowhere. So that would be an interesting experiment. If more and more of you can do that, that I feel is going to make an enormous effect on this reality, one that will be beneficial. But be certain in what you wish for and what you do is benevolent, and it is not self-serving, that is going to cause harm to anybody else, because that just negates the whole thing. It goes totally against the whole purpose of co-creating and manifestation. Although, yes, you can manifest in a self-serving way, but is that really nice? You've only got to consider, what if somebody was manifesting and you became the victim of part of that manifesting plan? It's always a case of put yourself in the shoes of another. And really the golden rule is, would I want it done to me? If the answer is no, then don't cast that thought that will negatively impact another. And it doesn't matter who it is, any of these famous names, these ones that we're encouraged to love to hate, just send them love. It's the strongest force, and it's what can override time itself, I feel. But I invite you to try this, and if you want help in going through the process of this, then details and then description of how to contact me. If you feel like, or if you're able to give a donation, that would be very much appreciated, but I would much prefer to be doing the reciprocal exchange and giving you something back, something to help you to find that empowerment in yourself. So I hope you've enjoyed the views, and yes, one final thing, wishing you all out there a wonderful, wonderful summer solstice, today the 21st of June. Unconditional love to you all.